right. So what has the real estate industry turning upside down right now?
Yes, so we are talking about commission. So, of course, we are not going to be talking any specific numbers. We're talking in generalities. That's the way this has to look,
Mhm.
legally speaking. Anybody who has been watching real estate for the past several years, there have been some large class action lawsuits against named brokerages from an antitrust perspective that were waged by sellers, because sellers who are selling real estate have routinely and customarily on a national level been paying a commission, which is paid to the listing broker, and then the listing broker shares in contributing a compensation to the buyer's agent or the cooperating broker. So it's typically a contract that the seller is going to compensate the listing broker. The listing broker is then in turn going to offer compensation through the multiple listing service to that buyer's agent broker. This is the way we've been doing it forever. As a result of these sellers being upset that they feel as though that they're not able to contract with those buyer's agents and negotiate how much commission they're paying, they feel as though that they're effectively overpaying for this commission structure. The matter is going to trial right now, but in order to avoid trial, certain brokerages have started settling. And one brokerage recently made a settlement offer that said, we are no longer going to mandate buyers agents or cooperating brokers to be compensated out of the listing agent commission. So that they're effectively saying that they're not paying buyers agent representation any commission compensation for the work that they're doing of bringing in a ready, willing, and able buyer and selling the property. Rhode Island's multiple listing service, in supporting the brokers who are making this new strategy decision as a result of their settlements, has allowed for listing brokerages to no longer offer compensation. Up to this point in Rhode Island, a minimum of $1 compensation had to be offered. Now, those listing brokers can offer $0. So we know that this dollar dialogue has been happening, and now Rhode Island has supported, well, you can actually offer $0. So that's where I think that everybody is somewhat overreacting to some degree, saying like, whoa, this is really changing. All of a sudden, buyer's agents cannot be compensated. That's not the rule. Buyer's agents can still be compensated by the listing broker. And I think to your point, that's a conversation that a listing broker should be having with their seller clients. What do we want to charge Mr. Seller and Mrs. Seller for commission? And how do we want to share in that on MLS for purposes of potentially enticing agents and or buyers? Now, ethically, that's not supposed to be a thing, right? Agents are not supposed to put the percentage commission or compensation structure above their clients' interests or needs. But, I don't know. That's just, there's some competing things happening. And I mean, there's no doubt, Emilio, right? This is kind of a brave new world where things are different. So it may change eventually. It may not change. I think that, what we have offered as a result of these settlements and MLS agreeing that $0 is acceptable is that everything is negotiable, because that's at the end of the day where we are. Buyers agents are now going to have conversations with buyers as to compensation structure, just like listing brokers are going to have conversations with sellers about how are we offering compensation. And I feel like so often in the past, this was just routine. We were, seeing very usual numbers of what people were paying opposed to negotiating those items. And I think that was kind of the point of the lawsuit, is that sellers want to make certain that they're not being forced into a number, right? Because they felt like it was kind of a monopoly of what it was going to be. And there's no doubt you are going to get some undercut brokers out there who come forward and say, well, we're going to do this for, X dollars or Y dollars. But like you said, you get what you pay for. So I think as a consumer, you have to very much look at, well, what does this service include at this discounted price? If you're not interested in those things, well, then maybe you do. Maybe that is the right decision for you.